Hey, and welcome back to World Reviews and More. Right, guys, we're going to get straight into it. My review of tonight's pay-per-view, WWE Fastlane. Overall, I enjoyed it. Good pay-per-view. Can't complain. I watched the pre-show. We had the Miz interview Paul Heyman and some of the highlights and things like that. Not much to talk about really, apart from Heyman, basically saying that whoever won between Reigns and Bryan would kind of lose against Brock anyway. So. But then moving on to the actual pay-per-view, my first match was the tag match between Kane, Big Show, Seth Rollins against Rowan, Ryback, and Ziggler. For me, in this match, there wasn't enough Ziggler versus Rollins. Obviously, we have had the matchup the last couple of weeks, but still there wasn't that much interaction. But I think that was due to the fact that they didn't want to kind of set up a major feud between the two, because of course in this match at the end you had Randy Orton return. This was after the Authority picked up the victory. You had Randy Orton return, RKO'd everyone pretty much. I have to say I do prefer heel Randy Orton, so I'm interested to see how this face run goes. There wasn't really much interaction with Ziggler, Rowan, or Ryback. So whether they decide to do like a massive tag team match with the Authority and J&J Security, or whether they just kind of put forward Rollins v Randy Orton for WrestleMania is probably the more likely. So nice to see Randy Orton back, but again, there's a few flaws there. Next, you had Goldust v Stardust in a match that was kind of, I don't know, I suppose a little bit rushed, but you had Dusty Rhodes kind of talking about his sons. I really don't like the Stardust gimmick. I'm hoping that this culmination of matches, because this match ended up with Goldust winning a really tame cover. Was it a referee mistake, or was it meant to happen? And then obviously Stardust attacks Goldust afterwards. So they're looking at a rematch. Maybe at WrestleMania. Maybe it's Goldust's last match, and we'll either see a Goldust victory that knocks Stardust back into Cody Rhodes, which is probably more likely. And there was no kind of atmosphere at all for this match at all. I don't think anybody was particularly bothered about seeing it, which is a shame, because if Goldust is looking at retiring, he deserves a bit more for his contribution to the business, really. Next was quite an entertaining match. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus the Usos for the tag titles. Cesaro and Kidd won, which I thought was a great decision by the booking team. I'm not a big fan of the Usos; they just don't do it for me. But I do quite like Cesaro, and at the end he pointed to his ring as if to say, brass ring achieved, or one of the first ones, and you can't blame him for that little bit of a dig. But no, great victory for them, clean victory as well, kind of. But yeah, great match, and I'm interested to see their run as tag team champions. Maybe it'll be a triple threat tag team match between them, the Ascension, and the Usos. Maybe that's WrestleMania. Who knows? But that'll be good. The announcer made a mistake, the first mistake of many at the end. She said, and still new tag team champions of the world. So, she sounds a lot like Lillian Garcia, but she's not. It wasn't her. It was a mistake by this new person they've got. After that, we had the confrontation everyone was waiting for, Sting v Triple H. And I've noticed that on the pre-show as well, they're kind of pushing this WWE versus WCW angle. And it's a bit confusing for me, because it's stirring up emotions. Because obviously they're trying to position Sting as face and Triple H is still heel because of his Authority connection. But as a hardcore WWE fan, and all the way old school WWE, during the Monday Night War, it's like they keep pushing the idea that Sting was WCW, and it does stir up some weird kind of feelings as to which side we should be rooting for. I don't know whether anyone else feels like that or it's just me, but it was good to see Triple H in his kind of street clothes rather than his suit. Triple H came out and said, I'm giving you one chance to take advantage of finally being WWE, so merchandise and DVDs and all that stuff. And in the end, obviously Sting was very silent as usual, very stoic, which I'm not sure what the gist is with that. Are they just trying to keep him enigma? I'm hoping that obviously now they've got a match at WrestleMania that he will talk at some point, because it would be a real shame then to hear the voice of Sting. Maybe we can cut a promo at some point. They also brought in the sledgehammer versus the baseball bat. So whether they incorporate that into the match at WrestleMania, I'm not sure. Hopefully it won't be a pole match where one on the other side, but maybe it could be a no disqualification and they'll use those two weapons. So yeah, obviously they are having a match at WrestleMania, which everyone is looking forward to, including myself. Can't complain at that. As I say, I just hope that they kind of use Sting a bit better, if possible, before then. Next, the Divas match. Paige versus Nicky. Not much to say on this apart from, again, a bad announcer. She called it the Women's Championship. And basically Nicky won, which we all expected, really, even if I did really want Paige to win. Nicky's obviously with John Cena. Whether that's had any influence or not, I don't know, but again, it's just bad booking, really. We know we want Paige as the women's. I'm doing it now. Paige is the Divas champion. So yeah, not much to say, really. Paige is the better wrestler. She deserves the championship, but she's not getting it. Next, the main event for me was Ambrose v Barrett, and I'm quite angry about this because they're still putting Ambrose through a lot of bullshit. Now, the ending of this match was Ambrose got disqualified for beating the shit out of Barrett in the corner, which I don't think has ever happened in WWE before. He's been disqualified for using the title or weapon or something like that, but for basically beating down an opponent in the corner, that's never happened, as far as I can recall anyway, in my time. So that was a lot of bullshit as far as I'm concerned, because I love Ambrose, and I think it was a way of basically making both men look strong. Again, Ambrose hasn't got a pay-per-view win since, who knows when, sometime last year. But again, he didn't lose because he was disqualified. And at the same time, bad news, Barrett still looks strong because he didn't really lose. And in the end, Ambrose walked off, stole the Intercontinental title. So again, that's looking like it's probably going to run into WrestleMania, or maybe just Raw and SmackDown in between then. But I do hope that Ambrose takes the title at some point, because like I say, he is my kind of favourite wrestler at the moment. One of the other funny things was the kind of announcers trying to talk soccer or football. Really wasn't convincing. JBL trying to talk about Premier League titles and Barrett v Rooney. Funny from an English point of view. Then we had the whole misnomer of Undertaker. The coffins and the druids and all the rest of that, and it turns out it was just Bray Wyatt. We all knew that was going to happen. We all knew he was calling out Undertaker. So basically, we're waiting for a response now from Taker. Whether it's a similar thing to Sting, where they just show like a vignette and he accepts or not, or whether he actually makes an appearance before WrestleMania, we'll have to wait and see. But again, it was a match that most people were expecting for WrestleMania, and if it does happen, one we can look forward to. Then you had Cena v Rusev. Not particularly interested in this match. Not a big Cena fan, as you know. And Rusev is great, but again, I'm not really vested interested in. In the end, it was like WWE were trying to create their own Austin v Hart moment again. Cena low blows. Cena gets low blowed by Rusev, and then basically is knocked out. It doesn't pass out. It doesn't tap out. He just passes out. So it brings back memories of Austin and Hart. But obviously, Cena is no Austin. To many of the kind of hardcore WWE fans. So again, we're looking at like a rematch probably for WrestleMania. Whether Cena wins the title or not, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Then the final match, we had Reigns v Bryan. Entertaining match, good performance from both wrestlers. I'm not a big fan of either of these wrestlers. I quite like Roman Reigns. I'd have to say if of the two, he would be my favourite. And in the end, I think the decision for Reigns to win clean was the right one, because they're sticking by their decision, and you've got to give WWE credit for that. Last year they bowed to peer pressure, and it worked. It was probably the right thing for Bryan to win last year. This year, I think sticking with Reigns and having that big showdown of the two kind of beasts between Reigns and Lesnar at WrestleMania probably will prove to be the better decision. And I kind of called it in the end about how they would end it, with Bryan kind of offering the handshake to Reigns and saying, you know, you better kick his ass, and that kind of just gives Reigns a bit more, gets Reigns a bit more over with the crowd, and you know, if he's got Bryan's approval, maybe they can try and shift that bit to Reigns, which I think happened in the end. So yeah, I think it was the right decision, and you know, I look forward to WrestleMania to kind of see if Reigns, you know, is given the full nod all the way. Obviously, I think that depends on whether Lesnar signs a contract with UFC or signs with WWE. I think they might still pass the torch to Reigns, but you know, I think it was the right decision in the end. And that's about it, guys. Like I said, a really good pay per view. If you can catch it, I'd definitely give it a watch. You know, obviously, I've kind of spoiled it a bit if you did, but if you were more interested in kind of just the results, then yeah, you know, check out some of the best bits really. One of the other things that was mentioned tonight is that Sheamus is returning soon, so that'll be interesting to look forward to. But apart from that, we're now kind of really on the way to WrestleMania. Can't wait. It's going to be great. You know, a lot of matches are probably already in the pipeline now, and we'll just wait and see what else kind of comes out of it. But thanks for watching, guys. You know, keep liking, subscribing, and commenting. Hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And until then, I'll see you later. Peace.